Hello and welcome everyone to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the first of a best of two in this group A matches. In these, I should say. Grammar is important. So we're going to have a Night Elf versus Undead matchup once again. I didn't roll the dice this time, I'm just going, because there's only two series left for group A, so I might as well just do the one that came across first. So in the bottom right, on the map in Nomad Isles, we have Xixi spawning in as the blue Night Elf player. He is going to be facing Fantafiction, the red undead player. And yeah, I don't actually remember the particular scores on every single player, so yeah, I don't know how I should do that. Maybe I would be, let's see here, how should I do this? Maybe create a separate video on the standings of Group A? Or like each group? Maybe I should do that? I don't know actually. Thing is, there are tiebreakers in a couple of these group matches, and the problem is if I upload them, then it could possibly give it away for people who have yet to watch the groups. So I don't know, it's very, very problematic for me, but I'll maybe figure it out when the time comes, I guess. Before going to this game, I actually got my results for my exams. Yikes, and it was actually bad. I was depressed most of this morning, and then I got a text saying that I was accepted to the university that I wanted, so, you know, that kind of changed my depression a little bit. Still would have been nice to do reasonably well on their exams. Unfortunately I was not able to. Fantafiction, alright, let's go to the game now. Enough about me. We're gonna go have a ghoul opening for Fantafiction. He's gonna go for a Death Knight first as well. Pretty standard for a ghoul opening. We have yet to see the ability trained, but you know, could potentially be the Unholy Aura. We're gonna have a Shadow Strike to kill one of the ghouls, and the Ghoul Scout will obviously tell the Warden, or tell Xixi, that it is gonna be a ghoul opening, because there is no way that you know, the Crypt Fiend undead player would send a ghoul to scout. We're gonna have a Wisp going for, or Wisp getting taken out by a Death Coil. That's first big experience for the Death Knight. Meanwhile, Xixi was able to get level 2 on that Warden thanks to, of course, that early kill on the Ghoul. Death Coil will claim another Wisp. Of course, only need like one hit and then a Death Coil to finish one off, but yeah, it's still not enough to catch up to the Warden. So this might be a problem. Usually when we saw this kind of thing happening in the Xixi series, yeah, Xixi was a lot earlier in harassing, and I guess it prevented Xixi from, I guess, gaining a foothold in his base, because Night Elves, it's very hard to, I guess, secure your own base, because number one, you're placing your Ancient of War generally away from your base, and of course you might not have any archers, or at least to the very least one archer, and yeah, most of the time it's uprooted until, you know, your first creep camp's gone, which by then the Death Knight should be there to interrupt and all that and start to gain dominance. But this time around it looks like Xixi was able to survive, I guess. We do have double Ancient of War. It looks like a Huntress transition in my opinion, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Tree of Ages is being actually started a long time ago, and we have yet to see a Hunter Soul placed down, so that's going to dispel any sort of Hunter transition from Xixi. But of course, Hunter Soul will most likely be placed down very soon, because that's a very needed building for Ancient of Lore. Gonna add another Shadow Strike on the Death Knight. The Warden does have level 2 Shadow Strike with the Pin of Energy as well, so she's going to toss a lot of those out in this game. Boots of Speed has been purchased. I mean, the ability order on the Warden is a very curious one. Seeing it as it was a mass school opening, it could potentially be Phantom Knives as the second ability, but of course there's always the case where Blink is needed to get out of the surround. Fanta's actually going to place his graveyard outside the comforting walls of his base, so that's really interesting building placement in my opinion. We're going to have hard creeping for both players. Level 2 has been gained on the Death Knight. He's halfway to level 3 as well, but the Warden was able to clear the Goblin Laboratory Camp, get herself even closer to level 4 as well. I would imagine the Tavern to be used to hire maybe a second hero. It's definitely not uncommon to see that, as we usually see the Panda as the one following the Warden when it comes to these kind of games, especially against mass schools, because Breath of Fire can deal a nice bit of AoE damage. Okay, quick transition to tier 3. Meanwhile, the Lich has been completed, so it is going to be hopefully level 2 Lich by the time the Black Citadel's finished. We're going to have the Crypt Fiend transition as well for Fanta. But right now, that's going to be really dangerous to fight against Xixi, I think, because the Warden is very, very close to level 5. If she's not level 4 right now. Where is she? There she is. She is actually level 3. Still not level 4, but it could potentially change as she's going to get some Acolytes to get killed off, and this could cripple Fanta quite a bit, as he might be forced to cancel his tier 3, but the Warden decided not to stick around any longer. That's very, very weird. I honestly think that the Warden could have maybe taken one more Acolyte. I mean, what Fanta's doing is probably the acceptable thing, which is, I only lost one Acolyte, so I'm mining out of 4 Acolytes. It's not worth cancelling Black Citadel for that. I think 2 is probably the minimum in forcing that cancel, and 3, it's a no-brainer. If it's 3, you have to cancel to you know, just remake those Acolytes. Either way, Xixi clearing out this Emerald Drake camp. Dark Wizard has yet to drop the item, as he still lives, but that will be changed very soon. The item is going to be a Scroll of Restoration. That is a rather fight-winning item, I would say. Like most of your units, very low health, and then bam, use that scroll to turn the tides, and then, well, I would imagine the user winning that fight. But we shall see, since we have actually an early transition into bears. No dryads I can see so far. We're gonna have Masters Training as well, so yep, just going straight into bears. We had Ultravision completed. We are now having the Wellsprings done. That will be hopefully beneficial for the Warden. I mean, the Warden definitely loves using Wellspring Moonwells, because she could just do this, harass, and then TP back, fully restore, and then just harass again. We're gonna go after Acolytes once more, but will the Warden be able to kill any of these Acolytes? That is the better question. Death Coil will be able to save that one Acolyte, but using Shadow Strike to execute another. Death Knight, he really wants to go after that Warden, but he is kind of stuck in that place. The Obsidian Statues will be able to heal up any of these damaged Acolytes. Okay, this gold mine camp is being cleared out. Actually, curiously enough, we're not going to have a second hero anytime soon for Xixi, which could backfire, I guess. Like, the Warden that just makes the Warden even more important, because if she dies, then, well, that's most likely game. Actually, we have a couple of Dryads for Xixi. Honestly, like, even having a couple of Dryads is important, because they do have that abolish magic, as well as, you know, they offer the slow poison, which could very much work for picking off units, which the Warden would most likely like to do. Okay, so items. We still have that Scroll of Restoration. Obviously, not a big fight hasn't actually occurred just yet, so it makes sense to keep that. We still have the Fantafiction. We have +6 claws. It will help the Warden quite a little bit. She's not that attack centric as I guess the other heroes would be. Lich himself only has his Orb of Corruption. And the Death Knight has the Pen of Energy himself. He also has Dust for, I mean, just in case of any night encounters, as well as a Circlet. So that's all he's got. We're gonna have both of these heroes actually exchanging their nuking abilities. Looks like Xixi might be one to go for this Bronze Rate camp, or not. Maybe he wants to fight this army when the Death Knight is not around, which could be a problem. There we go with a blink over and going for a level 2 Shadow Strike on one of the ghouls. Okay, here we go with a fight. The Death Knight was actually trying to transition, or trying to position himself. Yeah, let's try that again. Trying to position himself back to his army, but he did take quite a bit of damage. We do have destroyers in the air now. Two destroyers. One, I believe, currently with the mana. That might be very effective against those Druid of Claws, and of course those Dryads will be there to hopefully provide anti-air. I mean, that's also another purpose on why those Dryads have been picked, because, you know, destroyers need to be dealt with. The Warden doesn't have an Orb of Venom herself, so there is no way she can deal with the destroyer threat herself. Bronze Drake is being taken out, and the Tome Strength has been dropped. The Spike Collar has been dropped from the Dark Wizard, so the Death Knight could potentially use that if he finds himself losing the battle. Or if he wants to actually win the battle, he'll start summoning that immediately. Oh, Scroll of Restoration has been used immediately, but the Druid of Claw actually gonna get taken down either way. That didn't look like it healed a lot, if any, to be honest. Death Coil to heal one of those destroyers, and we have 3 destroyers in the air now. That might be problematic for those bears in particular. We're gonna have a Frost Nova to take one of those out, and another Death Coil to heal up a destroyer. We have 2 bears taken down in a very quick succession. We have the final bear actually getting taken out as well. The Fellstalker was summoned, but it was immediately abolished by the Dryads. Oh, destroyers taking a lot of damage themselves, but the Death Knight will be able to get that Death Coil, as well as those Sunan statues, healing up with the Healing Touch. I think that's what it's called. Essence of Life, I think. Essence of Life and Spirit Touch. A Spirit Touch is probably the easiest to remember. It's Essence of Light or Essence of Blight? Light would make no sense, it's undead. Might be Blight. I don't. Let's stop. Warden very close to level 6, so she will be able to get that Avatar of Vengeance. Of course, the main benefit of not going second hero is this. It's so you can get a very quick level 6 Warden out and ready. The downside, as I mentioned, but you know, let me add on to that fact, is that it's kind of it's not great, because normally level 5 heroes wouldn't be near the panda to leech off experience, so honestly it doesn't really matter too much if, you know, there was a second hero or not, because level 6 will most likely be gained eventually. I mean, the experience share is not that great for the level 6 to be delayed that much. Warden might have to consider backing soon, because I mean, she hasn't gotten any acolytes yet. Until I say that, she's got her first. We still have this expand out for Xixi. He's managed to mine about 1500 gold. Clear advantage right now for Xixi in terms of economy. I mean, Fanta is getting harassed economically with the Avatar of Vengeance actually, and of course the early harassment from before during the tier 3 progression. Okay, quite a bit of an army for Xixi himself. He's able to get himself +2, +3. Okay, so he's going to get 3-1 Dryads as well as 3-1 Bears. He's got a couple of mercenaries, double Shadow Priest, as well as a single Troll Berserker. That's a lot of piercing damage, more than enough to deal with the destroyer threat. I'm pretty sure. The A-bomb actually took quite a bit of a beating back at the main base, so that that's not going to help the front line of Fanta. Meanwhile, Fanta's base, he's still being harassed by those Spirits of Vengeance as well as the Avatar itself. I'm just going to call it an it because I don't want to be unsure. Black Drake camp has been started by Fanta, but he needs to be careful not to take too much damage, because that's not going to be... that's obviously not smart when your opponent is right there and wanting to fight. I actually want to see the army supply, because this is over upkeep. Low upkeep and no upkeep. Okay, 49 versus around 77. Xixi looks like he might be able to take control of the game, if he's not already doing it. I mean, a sign of him controlling the game would be just starting this Black Drake camp. Like, he's got no fear whatsoever in trying to deal with these guys. But I don't know what the destroyers are doing. Destroyers are actually trying to solo the Black Drake itself. I think that's what I thought they were doing, but they want the Dark Wizard instead. It looks like Xixi might not be here for the interrupt, as Phantom could get this camp for himself, and he will. The Black Drake has been taken down. Death Knight is at level 5. Lich is halfway to level 5 himself. Go for a silence actually. The Warden taking quite a bit of damage from the Frost Nova as well. That was not good, especially to start this fight. Thankfully Rejuvenate is there. The Warden needs to be careful not to be too close to those destroyers, because that could be suicidal, I guess. Ankh of Reincarnation as well as a Spike Collar. Wow, the Lich actually has quite a few items on him. I'm curious to know where that Ankh came from. I'm pretty sure the Spike Collar came from the Dark Wizard of this camp. We already had a Spike Collar in this camp. I don't know where the Ankh came from. It might have came from... maybe this camp? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna have Xixi initiating the fight. We still have the food supply disparity, so there's no fear whatsoever from Xixi's eyes. Fan of Knives, it didn't look that painful. I'm imagining that it is level 2 Fan of Knives, however, like... No, actually, level 1 Fan of Knives, because we already have a lot of abilities. There we go with another Fan of Knives. We're gonna have the Crypt Fiend being Death Coiled instead of the Abomination. Spirits of Vengeance, these little guys will be able to attack without worrying of dying, because they are invulnerable. We're going to have a couple of bears dying in the front here. We do hear a lot of them actually falling. Crypt Fiends trying to burrow, but a little too late there. The Lich could potentially be taken down, as he is level 4 Lich being killed off. Death Knight might be the next target. But the Dryads are having a very hard time reaching it. Lich, Ankh of Reincarnation has been used, I forgot about that thing. But the Lich will be here for a little longer, and he might actually stay if another Death Coil actually lands, but maybe it might not happen. Level 7 on the Warden. Death Knight is going to go for a TP scroll, That will reposition all the undead units back to the haunted gold mine, and that will force Xixi to actually retreat. Okay. Well, that just showed how easily Xixi was able to win that fight despite being on enemy ground. 76 versus 42. We're gonna have another expand from Xixi in the top right as he begins to entangle. I think he'll entangle. Maybe the Tree of Life can't see because there's no vision. It's a little weird. Either way, we have a couple of destroyers running around. Not sure what their purpose entirely is. Is it to get the hawks, or is it to act as scouts? Because we used to have a sacrificial pit. That would, you know, make you assume that you had shades around, but apparently he doesn't. And I don't know if they were taken down by the Fan of Knives or not. Interesting. Either way, Xixi probably should realize that the Tree of Life is not entangling the gold mine. Oh, we're gonna have the Warden once again going in for a little bit of backdoor Fan of Knives, maybe? I mean, we have 585 mana capacity on that Warden. She, right now, is very, very strong. It looks like she was able to get herself... I'm trying to imagine here. I'm assuming it's level 2 Blink. I believe level 2 Blink is the one that had... Never mind, this confirmed it. It is level 3 Blink. I was trying to imagine which it was, but since it's both low cooldown as well as low mana, it's level 3 Blink. I believe it was the low cooldown but high cost mana as level 2, and yeah, this is level 3. We have Wisps actually moving to the top right. Finally the entanglement has begun. It kind of took a while, but you know what? It doesn't really matter too much since Xixi's already winning this game anyway, and of course we're reaching that time where the gold mines would probably collapse, but since there was so much harassment in this gold mine that it might not actually, you know, deplete until maybe 2 to 3 minutes later. So there is that. We've actually been... Were we supply blocked? I don't know if we were for Fanta, but he now started his 5th Acolyte right now. Fanta currently is at 60 supply. No upgrades on the A-bombs, no upgrades on the Crypt Fiends. That's going to be really tough to fight, because Xixi is about to get at 3-3. Yeah, there we go. 3 armor, very, very close. And honestly, it's been a while since I've seen an army that had like complete 3-3 upgrades. And it's Night Elf of all people. I mean, like, Night Elf has so much things to research on the Hunter's Hall. The Ultravision, the Wellsprings, but, you know, it didn't stop Xixi at all. I mean, I guess Orc has a lot as well, since they have Fortification as well as the Spiked Barrier. But it doesn't count too much since they only have one armor type, I guess. Warden once again harassing at the back. All she needs to do is purchase Invulnerability Potion and then just sneak in, like crippling the economy of Fanta. There is no way Fanta could afford to get an army up to 80 because his acolytes are constantly dying. And of course it's another expand from Xixi. I mean, he's already got this one from the first Tree of Life, or Eternity. Huh, he is just expanding everywhere. He's just trying to, like, you know, guarantee his win. When facing a Warden as powerful and potent as this one, it's really risky going for an expand yourself, because that just leaves the Warden with more targets to go after. So yeah, Fanta's position is not great. He's actually going to lose all his acolytes as the Warden didn't care. I think Fanta's just prolonging this because there is no point in staying. Your death ball is not as strong as your opponent's death ball. Yeah, there's like no point in staying. This creep camp is finally going to be cleared out. We still have this mercenary camp, as well as the granite golem camps in the top left and top bottom right. So there's that. The big blue blob from the Xixi army. Not sure where to go, but I think they now know, since we do have this expand being attacked. I would imagine a forward TP over here, as Xixi will now begin his attack. Kind of a bad formation here, as the Dryads are way too far forward, but it doesn't really matter too much since they deal a lot of damage. Honestly, obviously they wanted to go for the destroyers, but you generally would want your bears in the front. Either way, that is going to be game. GG from Fanta, and the honestly 3-3 army just nailed the head in the coffin, hammered the nail in the coffin, I guess, cause that just forced Fanta to GG. I'm going to speed this up cause I don't know why these replays have this thing, cause it is really annoying. Let's just watch this Dryad, I guess. She's gonna kill a Dark Ranger as well. Will she? Doesn't look like she will be able to. Anyway, that is gonna be game 1 at 28 minutes. Well, I guess you can cut off like 3 minutes because of the ending, but yeah, that is a very, very strong Warden. And that... I would blame the early game, actually. Like, I did state the difference between Xixi's game against the Warden and Fanta's game. So yeah, there's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in game 2.